This conference will
Hello,
now
Rose
be
Executive.
recorded.
Richard Neville here with our class on or webinar, manage your social media like a boss. So we're going to go through the system and tools to start automating your content. And I mean that's a kind of a generalization, but so today I'm going to kind of go through some of the things for you to do to get to know your audience, like listen to your audience. So what do you want to post to social media, right? Um, so I would start off by seeing what your audience responds to. What are they engaging with? You know, things to look for. What are they commenting on? What are they liking, sharing, messaging? Um, if all those people are, you know, if you're getting a lot of engagement on your post, keep doing what you're doing and stay consistent with it. All right. So you should be getting some business from that, though. You know, I mean, if you're not getting a business doing what you're doing, then, you know, try to switch things up a little bit. And today we're going to go through, and I don't know if you're, you know, everybody does their own accounts different. You want to personalize things for your own audience and stuff like that. So I mean, there's not a one size fits all for this, but you want to make it your own. So let's go. So if you don't have people, um, if you don't have people engaging with your content, you kind of want to mix things up. So what do? Go through your timeline and see what they are having success with. So maybe it was one post from a year ago that had you know, a review or somebody with the sold sign holding it in front, and you know, because I do see a lot of inconsistency. You know, one day I'll see somebody holding the sold sign, and then you'll never see an agent do anything like that again. When that got like 55 likes and 30 comments, you know, why would you not continue on doing that? You know, so go through and look at what was successful for you and try to do more of that. Um, and then if you don't really have anything going on, if you're just starting to get involved in the social media stuff, then go look up some of your competition, whether it's local competition or go look, you know, maybe out of area to get ideas to see like some of the top agents that are maybe in other communities, in order to see what they're doing and what posts on their pages are getting a lot of results. Is it listing content? Is it video content? Is it just funny little memes? What is it? And then take a look and then see how that will translate to your audience. Don't outright steal what they're doing. Don't just take a photo of their meme, screenshot, and then upload it to your page and say the same thing, but make it your own. Um, so what we're going to do today is kind of go through some of this stuff. And so just think about it. So like, just like everything else I noticed with, and I mean, you've heard this before with, you know, you did one postcard, you got no results, and then you quit. Or you did 5 phone calls, cold calling, nobody answered, or nobody, you know, bought what you were selling, and then so boom, that doesn't work. But just remember, social media is a marathon, it's not a sprint, okay? Um, so keep that consistency and have a system, you know. It's beyond just a schedule. You also need to have a system, okay? So when you sit down to write a post, how will it look? Do you want to have an image that goes with it? Did you take the image and now you want to write the post with it? Do you need to create artwork for it? Are you doing like some sort of quote that you found a great quote, but you need to put it into a some sort of image. And like I know you've heard me say like Canva or there's Crello or these different tools out there. There's a million apps that can do that now too on your phone. You can just layer and there's so many I can't even think of them right now. But go on and take that photo or use the photo that you have or find a photo, and then there's a million different uh, free websites out there with images. Like if you just need to find stock, there's Pexel, Pexel.com. There's Pixabay, Pixabay.com. Those are great. Some of the bigger free image sites. And then you could, or if you had a paid Crello or Canva account, there's free images in there that you could use, and then drop your quote in, export that, save that image out, and then share it out. So are you creating something that's going to go to your database? You could share it on social media, but you can also share it to your database. Is it something that's going to go, is there a video that you're going with the post? So just think about this stuff, and in order to think about it, you might need to block some time out in your schedule. So here's like a kind of a, that's not written in stone, but a good template to try to think about. So maybe spend 5 to 10 minutes a day to post, to like, comment, to like other your sphere or other people that you follow, their content, comment on people's posts, and then respond. So you want to engage with people's stuff, in order, it's that whole reciprocal behavior thing, where if you're liking, sharing their stuff, then they're going to do it more with yours, and so on. So if you are posting and you're not going on and interacting with your audience, then there's a good chance that they're not going to interact back with your content. Okay, so think about that. So maybe do a weekly 20 to 30 minutes to plan and think ahead, to start to think about these posts that you're going to do. And I'm going to go ahead. We'll see in a little bit some content calendars that I have for you, that you can look at these to think about what you want to do in order to create a plan, and create some of that. If you need some artwork or something like that, and I'm going to give you some sources of artwork, and then how to create more artwork and stuff like that. And then maybe monthly, sit down, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and like batch contents and stuff. So are you going to make a video? Why not make 3 videos in one sitting? If you're going to go ahead and, if you put makeup on, did your hair, did all these, or whatever it is, you're all dressed up real nice. Why not just go ahead and make 3 videos for the month in one sitting? And then that way you have 3 videos, every once a week you could share out a new video, boom. Now you are creating new content for your audience, as well as getting it all done at one time. So then that way you can go ahead and schedule it out in your calendar. So be intentional and stop the random acts of social media. So, we see a lot of just random stuff that goes out where there's no consistency. Like I mentioned earlier, where that random act might have been that one sold photo where you're standing in front of the house, you got your clients standing in front of the house with the sold sign, but don't make it random. Make that an intentional act that you're doing with every single property that you sold to somebody. Get that photo or get that review and share the review. So be intentional, create a plan, stick to that plan, have a system, and follow that system throughout. And I'm going to go through some of the systems that I use here today, as far as the content cultivation and scheduling. But as far as you guys are in the field, and if you're showing property, make a point to go and take a photo of a couple photos of each property that you're showing, in order to then go later on and be like, oh, look at these great houses I showed today, that to my wonderful clients. And don't make it more, think about this, dude. Don't always talk bragging about yourself. Talk about how you are helping your clients, okay? Instead of like, oh, I showed 5 houses today. Maybe say, I was able to take my clients around to show them 5 beautiful homes. So something like that, where you're putting the focus on your clients and how you're working with people and how you're doing a great job for them, but not put it out, oh, I did a great job doing this. More, I help my clients do this and do that, and make it related to your clients more than just about yourself, okay? So have a strategy. Now that we've got some scheduling going on, we'll take a look at that in a little bit more detail here in a second, but you need to have a system to go along with that strategy, okay? So be intentional when it comes to social media. It's too simple to get sucked into social media vortex. And what do I mean by that? Like when you go on to social media, are you going on to engage with people's stuff, or do you see a cat video and then you start watching other videos, or you see some social political post that gets you all angry, and now you're sucked into the vortex of reading all the comments. Now you spent 30 minutes and you have nothing to show for it. You didn't do anything to promote your business or to promote your brand or to, to promote what you do. You are just watching cat videos, So be intentional about what you're doing. Have a strategy about what you're doing. And then we're going to be going through that kind of like that system, like the system schedule strategy here once we get through all these slides here. But, it's basically, it's going to save you time, and it's going to make your efforts go in the long haul, because remember, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Just be, you want to have the stuff going consistently, because if you just post random here, random there, you're not going through a plan. I mean, when you go take a listing, you have a listing checklist, right? Where you're going through, you're putting in the MLS, you're getting photos ordered, you're doing this, you're putting the sign in. You have a system that you go through with every listing. So this just has to be another thing you have a system with. It's going to be like, what's a way to relate it to, like, I don't know if you ever worked in the food industry, right? When you were younger. And the big companies, like corporate companies, they have books of all the catalogs of the recipes that they're followed exactly. And then, okay, servers have to do this and hostess do this. When they come in, they have to do these checklists of things, and then they go to work. And then before they go, they have to do this checklist of things before they get checked out. So, but then you go to a small place, and then, maybe they have a good manager who does make sure that they do all this stuff. Maybe they don't, and they have filthy bathrooms because nobody has a system. And it really, without having those like systems in place, things start to fall apart. Okay. And then the strategy. So, here's some ideas for what to post like live in the moment. So if you're at an event or something that happened that you didn't expect, where I saw, this one example I've heard before was with a her most what's the word, like engaged with story was how she acts. There's two cars exactly like two cars together. One was hers, one was somebody else's, and she didn't pay attention because she was out looking at her phone or whatever while she was walking to the car, and then she goes and tries to get into the wrong car, and then realizes that, wait, the car door's not opening. And she took a picture of that and like said a few little words about it, a little funny thing, and ha ha ha, and then boom, that would ended up, even though she's a real estate agent, she's posting homes and stuff, one of her most engaged things was kind of poking fun at herself on how she didn't even know what her car was. So just think about like things that are a little out of the box, and maybe something that's funny that might get people to engage with your stuff more. Okay. Breaking news. So whether that's like, a lot of local news, like that's going to be stuff that you want to kind of post in the moment more than schedule out. And why would you want to do that? Because the local news shares a lot faster. If you find some, article on, home, whatever, something about the holidays coming up and how to decorate or something, like that's kind of filler content where it doesn't, you could post it 1 week or 3 days or 3 weeks before, and it's not nobody's gonna notice that. But if you take something that's a local news story that everybody that you get in your feedly, which I'm going to show you, shows up, boom, for the day, you have this news story about something that happened in Santa Clarita or whatever area your market area is, and you want to share that out faster because that's going to be, as you see everybody share out the same stories over and over, right? So you want to be like kind of on top of that before anybody else, because they want them to see yours first. Because if you're posting it 1 week later, you scheduled it a week late, then people already saw that and they're not going to engage with it. So people are going to engage with stuff like, especially local news, that's going to be, you're going to find that if you go through and like kind of do an audit of your social media, you're going to find that some of the local news stories are going to be your highest performing. So just keep that note of that. Local news is good news. All right. And then like if you have questions, Maybe you have a question from a client, and maybe this is a great opportunity to do a little either live video or just record a little video and answer that question and share it out. And then now, wait, you can be consistent with that. And even though it could be a post in the moment this time, but maybe you once a week you answer a question that you received from your clients that week. And then boom, now you're creating, excuse me, like a database of content we call like evergreen content. Because why? Because it could always be used. It's always going to be green. It's always going to be available to you to maybe somebody else ask you a question and a year from now. Now you can go reuse that video that you made from from now. So that way you can reuse some of your own content by answering some questions, doing things that it's not going to change the answer to. So like if you answer something about staging is something that's good. Maybe you have a question, a staging thing, and then like that whole staging concept, it's not like that's going to be going away next year. Like nobody's going to ever stage their home again. So that's something that you could reuse again in a later date. So even though some of these might be in the moment, there's something that you can kind of reuse, like those questions, to create more and more content, and then reuse that content at a later time. So creating a plan. So things that you might want to schedule. So like blog posts. I know that most of you don't write any blog posts for yourself. I know a couple of you do. So that would be something that you could schedule out. And then I will show you as well, like I'm going to go through Breakthrough Broker a little bit here later. And not go through it, but just kind of show you some of the stuff that they have for you. It's a great option for you guys. There's a lot of like some videos, some social media posts, some graphics, stuff like that, and even blog posts that you could copy and paste that are royalty free that you could put into your own websites if you use your website and want to share. Because what is the point of social media? It's to get business. And where do major companies and what do? They create content and then share it from their website to social media. So then that way when people share their content, that's bringing other people back to their website. So ideally you want to create and post content from your own site, which I know that's a big ask for a lot of you. So I'm not going to get focused on the blog post end of it. I know you probably heard enough about that and you're not going to do it. So if you want help with it, let me know. I'm 100% fan of it. I mean, I love it, and I'll help you with anything you need to get that stuff done, ideas and topics and best practices and adding it to your website and sharing it out, whatever you need help with that, I'm here for you. But I just know that most of you aren't going to do it. But if you do want to find some content to put on your website that you can share out, I'm going to look at that today with the Breakthrough Broker. Quotes, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to do like some housing quote or there's just some other sort of quote, you can just make that little, take that quote, make it into a little image or just the quote itself, however you want to do it, do a video on it, then that's something you could schedule out. Upcoming events, if there's something going on, they might have it scheduled 3 months out, but you don't necessarily need to mention it 3 months before, but you can get that event added to your scheduling tools, and then that way you could have it go out, a week or 2 days or 3 weeks, however long you want it to come out beforehand, you can set that to come out. Photos with clients or customers, yeah, you can do that right away. You could take the photo in the front yard and then share it instantly out, but you could also schedule that. That doesn't have to be an instant thing. Maybe you wanted to write a few words, or you wanted to go ahead and edit that photo to put some stuff in it, or some smiley faces or whatever in there. You could take your time with that and schedule it out. You don't have to push it out instantly. It just depends on how much you're posting and stuff like that. I mean, if you already posted something that day, you don't have to push it out just for the sake of pushing it out. You can schedule it out. And remember, social media is not a sprint. It's like a long-term thing. So it's a marathon. Photos of your local area. So maybe you wanted to do like a little, uh, mm, sorry, what am I trying to think of here? Like a little scavenger hunt thing, or maybe do some history, throwback Thursdays of some photo, so a photo of what something looked like before and now, different things like that. You can, or maybe it's your favorite restaurant, stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be like just a photo. I mean, it could be a photo tied into some sort of content that maybe it's your favorite bakery in town, and you take a picture of it, and then you talk about how much they're, you know, whatever they serve at bakeries, how great it is and how much you love it, and there's no other place in the valley that has anything like it. Or links to helpful resources. Maybe um, whether it's Santa Clarita information, or maybe you have some tips for home buyers, home sellers, some buyer's guide, seller's guide, stuff like that. You can get that content ready and get it scheduled into your content or into your scheduling tools. Okay, so that's some stuff that you'd want to schedule versus things that are good ideas to post live in the moment. All right, so finding content. So here's some content sources that I kind of just threw together real fast. Inman, RES Media, Realtor.com, Realtor Magazine, Wall Street Journal, Housing Wire, HGTV. Those some national, some local ones like LA Times, Daily News, Santa Clarita Valley Signal, Santa Clarita Valley Business Journal, the SCV Economic Development Corporation, SCV News. So I'm going to go through this here momentarily when I kind of go through my whole process of gathering content, putting it together, and then sharing and then scheduling it out. So we'll take a look at that. But Feedly is what I use, and I'm going to have all of these links in a PDF that I'll share out here after the video. So Feedly is the one that I use, but I mean there's like Pocket and some other ones out there that you can use. I like Feedly because it's free and it gets everything that I need done in a free application. So we'll take a look at that in a moment, but it's feedly.com. All right, whoops, sorry about that. What am I trying to do? There we go. Wrong button. So best times to post. So now we have some content source, which we'll go through. I'm going to show you a couple little tips on that in a minute. But now you have ideas for content. You have, and just so you know, I'm kind of skipping over the basics here. As far as you guys know, like if you have a new listing or an open house coming up, or you just sold a house, something like that, you are going to be posting that on your own schedule. I mean, you're going to post that out, okay? So this is kind of that stuff in between that maybe you don't have something on the top of your head right now, and then you need some help with that. Or when do I mean, of course you're going to post out just listed, just sold, maybe reviews from your clients, stuff like that. The sold sign with them holding it, or them, it's inside their house, whatever it is. Maybe not them inside the house, but you get my point. That is go-to stuff, okay? That's like the 80-20 rules. I've heard it change recently to 70-30 rule, whatever, where you have the 20-30% of your content is about business, and then the other 70-80% is going to be about you, not necessarily you specifically, but like it doesn't have to be like all about me, but stuff that's going on in your life, or I shouldn't say that, stuff that's not like I got a divorce, ooh, no, but like just personal thing. How do I say this? It could be stuff that you go on vacation, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. You went to an industry event. You're doing a meeting with clients, that kind of stuff. But the work, I mean, like posting listings and the open houses, stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to get across with the work, but not necessarily. There could be work related things that you're doing, but it's showing that you're what your day is, which sorry, this is coming out pretty bad, but I think you get what I mean. Like 30 to 80, 70 to 80% will be about stuff that you're doing within your job or within your life, and then that other 20 to 30% will be like actual strict business. Like, here's my new listing. I'm going to be at this property for open house. Here's it just sold. You know, that's more the business instead of you going on some showings, or you're doing, you know, stuff like that, like where you're, you know, maybe you have to go for a home inspection, or you're uh, doing stuff like along those terms where you're actually working throughout your business, but it's not necessarily business. Ah, hopefully you know where I'm going with that. Okay, because I'm digging myself in a bigger hole, but here's some of the best times to post. So this is more on averages. It's not like the end all be all here, because I mean, you're gonna want to look at when your own people are doing things, and I can kind of show you that stuff. But within your business pages and stuff like that, you're able to see your insights, which will then show you when people are mostly engaging with your content. But just think, usually it's between in the morning and then like after lunch kind of thing, you know, and or going to dinner. So Instagram is a little bit different. That's not because it's got kind of a different audience base. It's going to be younger people, so they uh, I shouldn't say that, I shouldn't generalize like this, but that they get up later and they're using it as much, blah 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 earlier, but more or less cross industries and Instagram 1 to 5 p.m. and you know, during lunch at the end of the day is the best. Mornings aren't the greatest for Instagram. Okay, so it's more of a afternoon to evening platform. Where Facebook 9 a.m. So first thing in the morning, people starting to work, they go online for the first time, they're checking Facebook. They're more people are going to Facebook in the morning than, you know, when they're on their lunch break, and you know, they're checking Facebook, and then they're probably going to Instagram later on. Okay, but you know, you can still post later on. Um, you know, because this is not, like I said, the end all be all for these times. It's gonna, your own followers are going to dictate the best time for you. These are just kind of averages across different industries, you know, where it's giving you an idea, but don't take this to the bank. Okay, so sorry, Facebook or Instagram, the best day to post on Instagram is Fridays. So I mean, if you're only going to do like one post per week or a couple posts per week kind of thing, Friday would definitely be on your list. And for Facebook, Thursdays through Sunday is the best day. So some, you know, especially for real estate, people who are looking about, like, they're thinking about that home shopping time, they're looking out for open houses and, you know, what's going on, you know, for the weekend for them, especially when they're actively searching, Thursdays through Sundays. So like, if you're going to be running any sort of advertisements, paid ads, stuff like that, you're going to want to run them through that Thursday to Sunday time frame. And then, you know, Sunday you kind of want to wrap it up by like dinner time, because a lot of people are settling down, watching TV, that kind of thing, and maybe you're going to see a bigger drop off of engagement on Sunday afternoons versus, instead of going later on, just end that a little bit earlier. Twitter, I don't know that a lot of you use Twitter, but here's some average times: 8 to 10 a.m. in the morning, as well as 6 to 9 p.m. So that's, but remember, so it correlates with both evening and morning commutes. So maybe they are public transportation people more, or I don't know. I'm just guessing there, but Twitter, unless you're posting a lot on Twitter, so like these, Instagram maybe once to twice per day at most, you know, and then maybe in some cases you see where you post less, you get better engagement. So you don't want to go overdo it with any of these. Maybe once every other day. It just depends on how much content that you have available to you, but don't overdo it. because if you post more, you end up getting less people engaging with your stuff because they're overwhelmed with the amount of content that you're putting out to some degree, and then they kind of just fly past it rather than looking at it, reading it, engaging with it. Facebook, 1 to 2 times per day most, same thing. Maybe every other day might be good for you, especially if you're going to be using like one of the free scheduling tools. You're limited to how many posts you can do. So maybe you do an Instagram one day, a Facebook another day. Okay. Twitter, like I mentioned, this is going to require more posts for. I mean, unless somebody just goes and looks you up on Twitter, then they'll see all your posts. But I mean, otherwise, they're going to your posts are gonna get lost because there's a lot of people that post like, 5 posts in 5 minutes kind of thing. So like, and if your post goes into somebody's timeline, boom, that thing's gone in a matter of seconds, depending on how many people you follow or how many people they follow, because there's just lots of quick, short posts going out a lot. So that's going to be more. Some people use it for real estate and have success with it, but none of them in our company. And I mean, it's been rare. I've only seen a couple like articles about successful Twitter real estate agents. LinkedIn is one of those ones where potentially it's on the horizon to be better because of the way the changes in Facebook, and like LinkedIn is now allowing like I don't know if it's out to the public yet or if it's just still in beta, but advertisements, so LinkedIn ads where you can target people. And I mean, think of LinkedIn, when you target people on LinkedIn, these are people that are, I mean, besides the job searchers, these are people with, in most cases, higher skilled jobs that make more money. So this could potentially be a good source for you to work on. So I mean, if you're going to pick some, Twitter would be my last, to be honest with you. Well, I don't know about Pinterest too, maybe, because Pinterest is the good thing about Pinterest is that it's got a high female audience. Yeah, I mean, I've to be honest, I'm not sure. I thought I saw it was like 76%, something like that, the last I saw, but just gone down, since initially it was like 93%, something like that, female, the first couple of years, and now it's that around 75%. So, and I don't know, and if you start to run ads on Facebook, you'll start to see that you have a much higher engagement rate with female. But don't take that as exclude male from your targeting, because that you'll get just your ad account will get disabled from Facebook right away, because those are some of the new rules that they've implemented, that you're not allowed to target based off of gender, zip codes, or age. So remember those. So I mean, you're not. So that's the good part about Pinterest, but it's more like it's like a Instagram, but you have boards and you post photos and stuff that you like, and I would say that it's better for inspiration for you. I mean, unless you have a lot of great photos and you're creating a lot of content to go on there, or you find a lot of stuff that you can share there, it'll take you a lot of creation, because a lot of things on there, time to create things, because it seems like, or if you have a nice property, it might go good. I mean, Pinterest is my least favorite, I guess. Twitter would be second, and then LinkedIn, and then Instagram, and then Facebook would be the ranking. And I only put Facebook at number 1 because it is got so many more users, and even though some of it's dropping off a little bit, Facebook is still the dominant force. And I mean, they changed some advertising rules here recently, in the last year or 2 years and they just went through a new set here recently, and it's getting harder and harder to use, but it's still the dominant force. Okay, so those are some of the best times to post. Oh yeah, Pinterest is like 8 to 11 a.m. and then 2 to 4 p.m. So and then LinkedIn was more between the lunchtime with the best days is Wednesday to post. So that's something to look at there for those times. But I would primarily, if you're not doing a lot of stuff and you want to get started, then Instagram and Facebook would be my two go-tos. Okay. All right. Scheduling your posts. So it's all vital to have social media presence for businesses. Blah 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 blah. You don't want you want to keep an active social presence, but you do not want it to be a sizable percentage of your time and attention. You only want to go, like I said, that 5 or 10 minutes a day maybe, or schedule an extra, what would that be? So if you had an extra 30, maybe an hour a week at most, to get what done that you need to do. Unless, you just love social media and you want that to be your life, then you're probably going to end up spending more time on there for yourself than for your business, and then that's where we need to try to stay away from that to some degree. So with social media scheduling tools, you can operate your account more efficiently and automate some stuff here, because now this way you can just drop stuff in, have it ready to go. You can create it, schedule it, and then it pushes out your content. And then that way your audience will come to expect posts at specific times, because now you have a scheduler, and then the post schedule makes more likely that you can do this. Okay, so I'm going to go through Buffer today, but here's some other alternatives. I mean, it's up to you, like what you want to use. I mean, some of them are more expensive, but these are like the top 11 ones out there right now. TweetDeck is well known. CoSchedule, Sprout, Hootsuite, Buffer. Those are some of the top ones. That are, but CoSchedule is, I mean, you're getting to why it's a little bit low is because it's cost. It's like $100 to $300 a month depending on your options. Buffer's like $100 a year, and then there's free versions of like Buffer and Hootsuite that you can use. So that's why I guess those would be at the top here, but they all kind of do the same thing. They just maybe give you some different analytics and some different information after the fact, after you share it, so you can kind of analyze what happened with your posts, and what to continue on doing, what not to do, what to change, those kind of things. And I don't know that some of those options are available in the free accounts, but for Buffer, I know that you'll be able to add like 3 accounts in there. So if you have a Facebook page and a profile, and then your Instagram, there's your 3. Okay, so now you can schedule stuff out to those. Or, well, actually, you know what, I think in the free account you pick either a page or a profile. So I mean, there's going to be limited options in the free accounts, but at least you can try one out and see how you like it. Okay, but like I said, today we're going to go into Buffer, and then here's some resources that I have for you, and then we're going to kind of go through all of these right now. So I have editable content calendar for Google Drive. This is going to kind of include the promo and Katie Lance's content grid that I've shared out before. I think it was in our April calendar. And then the HubSpot holiday calendar it's kind of got some of the stuff on here. So let's take a look at some of the stuff. But the Buffer content scheduling tool. So we're going to go through this with kind of finding content. So we'll start at Feedly. We'll go to, scheduling, or go to look. Actually, we're going to start at the content calendar. We're going to go to Feedly, then Buffer, and then we'll kind of go through some of this stuff as well, the breakthrough broker stuff, where there's some available social media tool or social media content for you to grab here. So there's like videos that you can brand, there's infographics that you can brand, there's social media posts that you can brand, Instagram listing announcements that you can obviously brand and put your listings in. So I mean, of course, listings to leads is a great tool that you can automate as well. But like I said, we're kind of skipping over those ones that you already know to post. To post your listings, that's a go-to. But some of this other stuff where you're confused on what to do, this is where I wanted to kind of fill in those gaps today. So, all right, so let's get out of here. Now let's take a look at some of our stuff here. Let's go to, what do I want? to Google Drive. Let me go to here. And this is going to be in your, oh yeah, here we go. So I actually, I put together this folder, which I will share out with the video. So some content ideas. So this here has a PDF that kind of goes through. This is from promo, which I have in this calendar here. So I'm kind of duplicating a little bit of it, but this here, basically, what you can do is if you click the link from here, from this, the PDF that's in, let me get out of back here. Sorry, I'm starting to skip around a little bit. Let me get back to the beginning. So in this resources, there's the PDF of our of all the slides from today. Okay. And then at the bottom, you're able to click on this link, and this is going to allow you to copy the 2019 social media content calendar into your personal Google Drive account. Okay. Oops. This here is, I have April, May, June, or April and May are filled out. June and July, the content isn't created yet for me to steal. Okay. And some of these are just, these topic ideas are real estate topic ideas. Let me put that in here for you. And then there are just these general holiday and generic ideas. So for April, we have like today's National Picnic Day, and then you know, Alien Day, Morse Code Day, Superhero Day. So some of these would be like generic content for you to drop in. So if maybe you didn't have anything, then this would be like, okay, you don't want to do a picnic day. All right, highlight a local business or a new listing. I'm sorry, some feature of a new listing, or you want to share an article from Inman, or you know, what's your favorite family-friendly place to visit around town, stuff like that. So this is going to give you some ideas to get going. All right, and then you could go in. This will be copied into your personal account. So then you could like just go in and type your message. Wow, check. You know, like if you're going to use the favorite feature, maybe it's a staircase that's in one of your listings, and you wanted, wow, look at this staircase, blah 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 blah, and then you can put your image in there. And then within this Google Drive, you're able to just insert an image. Now you can drop it right into that cell, and then that way when you go to share this stuff out, you could just go and save that image back or use that image for your post. Okay, so it's a way, and then you could link, and then I have additional you know, little notes on here for ideas of what to do. Okay, so let's look at May. So there's Lay Day on May 1st, or maybe you have a favorite weekend getaway within 2 hours. So Lay Day, you know, that will be up to you because that's a personal thing. But so here's some an idea for you to use for Lay Day, and then so these go along. These ideas or notes go along with this generic holiday ideas, and then these will be ones that for you to come up with on your own. Okay, so and then you could put in like what date, time you want, and then this way maybe you sit down and do 2 weeks. You have these kind of planned out. So now you have some sort of plan that you can do. All right. So say we did want to use like an Inman article, like from this one here. Where do we find these content? So where would you link? So like, you know, we want to link to an article that we found based on, you know, some good content that you found. Like I mentioned before, Feedly. Feedly is going to be the one that I use. So Feedly it's just feedly.com, feedly.com. You're able to create a free account. My account's a free account here. I never upgraded, so everything in here is free. So basically all you would do is you just go to, once you have your account created, go hit add content. And then I had one in here, let me see, that that allowed me to find a bunch of content that I'm not currently following, so it was a perfect one. So Housing Wire, I'm gonna put in like this, whoops, .com. Even though that's correct, I want it to be wrong because this RES Media's house call is a great one. I want to follow that. I'm going to put that into home, okay? That we're going to come back and get this Housing Wire, but the proper one. So keeping current matters, yeah, that they have some decent stuff sometimes. So I'm going to put that into my real estate. And then these you just create. You create a new feed, so you would just be able to create. So if you wanted to do real estate 2, save. And now that's going to go into my little section here where you can put content and categorize it. So I have stuff already categorized, but let me go back to add my content so we can see how you add the content. Housing Wire, boom. Because, oops. So I want to go through and add some of these young professional networks. Follow. We'll go into real estate. Bytes and Bytes. RES Media's got some good stuff. We'll put that into real estate. Simplifying the market. Let's see what that is. Real estate. Technology. We'll go into my tech category. So you can see there's just a bunch of content in here that you can find. So realtor.com, I thought I was already following that, but I must be following just realtor.com. So NAR, Housing Wire, I want to follow. NAR, so you could go through and see there's a bunch of different content sources in here, okay? And then like I have local too, so remember you can put in local. So let's go add content and let's put in like Santa Clarita. So here we go. Here's like Santa Clarita news. I'm already following that. And then see, I'm already following a lot of these. But there's blog, a newborn baby photographer, no. War gamer, no. So I'm already following most of these. Let's see this. Santa Clarita Valley Signal. So you can see you can get local news. So like when I go to my local section over here, I have, here's all of our local news for today, where it just comes into one area, okay? So basically you're gonna have blank. Once you create your account, you're not gonna have anything coming in. It's just gonna, might have some suggestions for you, but I want this just to be for kind of tech stuff that maybe there's something in here that has real estate technology related, which it's kind of far and few between. So that one I don't use as much. Property management I don't use that much, but sometimes there might be some like, you know, investor tip thing that might be good for real estate. These are just generic, neat ones that I like. This is home related, so this is like interior design stuff. RES Media House Call, like I just added in there. Design Sponge, Design Milk. So it's trendier. So it's a lot of home interior design ideas. So there's a lot of home content. So this is like, I do use this one often, but it's more like if there's nothing else good in the other ones, you know, because this is a lot of generic crap about like, you know, before and after. Well, not that wouldn't be that great, but let's see. Let's see if there's something up here. So even this, 5 garage saving or space saving garage storage hacks. You know, something like that, maybe something to fill in when you have nothing else to share. You know, so that's one to go. But we have the local in here. So, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the local would be the way to share out like like that would be something, if you see something that's good in here, share it. That same, like that's, you know, that day or right then or later that day. Because, you know, once you go down here like days from now or days ago, most of this stuff has already been, you know, share if it's a good, you know, maybe it was, you know, SCV ranks the top 5 of best places to live. I guarantee you 75 other agents share that out this minute they saw it. And then you're going to be following behind everybody, which I mean isn't necessarily so bad, but you know, if you want to get out and, you know, just the breaking news stuff is the stuff to share out quicker. So that would be something that people probably are going to already see if they're from the area. So, you know, if you're a week late on that, then you're, you know, people will notice that, didn't you see that a week ago? So, so this would be, if you have any questions about this, this is, it's not a hard platform to use. It's basically create your account and then click add content and start adding content. You know, if it's a real estate, so there's like real estate, and then this will come up with a bunch of different real estate stuff, which I'm following a lot of these. I mean, there's like New York deals and stuff like that that I'm not following. Forbes I should be following, I guess. So there's a number of these that, you know, for housing that you could just go through and follow. And then if it's, you know, the local, just do the Santa Clarita. And then boom, you started to have some of these, okay? And then you could even put in news, Santa Clarita news, which I already get these sent to me in my email box, but you could follow that. So that's like Google Alerts. That is just going to show up anything that has related to Santa Clarita. Oops, I guess I am maxed out on my 100 sources. But so that's the thing, is that you have 100 sources or you have to pay. So I think I might have maxed it out, so I'd have to go back and get rid of some of the ones that don't give me good content in order to come back and follow this one. So you are limited with the free, just so you know. Okay, so now that we have some of this content here, let's go back and find like this garage saving hacks. All right, so I would want, this is my flow now, okay? Well, let's go back to Buffer is your scheduling tool. So this is where I find content. Generic, I mean, you know, I have all these like featured properties and stuff that I share out. So this is coming from another source. This is me creating this, and I use canva.com, canva.com. I have templates available that I've created, and I just drag and drop the photos in and then update the, you know, information down here. So that way, and then I just grab the information from the MLS and drop it in, and then I link it back to our site. All right. So that's, like I mentioned, like that stuff you guys already don't seem to have that many problems with, and if you on your own, I see a lot of you sharing out that stuff a lot. It's the other stuff that where the consistency drops after it, okay? Because you need other content to fill in between in order to, you don't to be that trusted expert, you know. Okay, so but you see like this one here, unique ways to decorate with shiplap. And what is shiplap? Do you even know? So and then there's some generic ones in here, landscaping, instant, you know, 4 tips instantly improve your curb's appeal. So like those are the ones that are my filler material, okay? And then so these are the times that I do. They go around the 9 a.m. in the morning, and then around that noontime, lunchtime in the afternoon. And so I have, this is a scheduled posts that I've already put into the schedule that are ready to go to go out all throughout this whole week to next week. Where once I sit down every week and I go through and I batch all this content together, so then that way it just goes out on a specific timeline. So I use canva.com, where you could create all sorts of different social media contents here. Content, whether it's for social media, there's all sorts of content you could create in here using Buffer, okay, or we're using Canva. So I create some of my stuff from there. And, you know, if you want to do like a quote, something there, you know, you could do like here's Instagram, and it gives you all these different templates that you can go ahead and basically use. Which I mean, there's Crello, different things out there. So maybe you wanted to do a quote, blah, 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 blah. You just copy, paste your quote in, put their name, maybe drop in a logo or do something for yourself in there. And now you have a post to share. All right. Or maybe you wanted to put in like a picture of something. You're able to do that and drop down that whoops. There's just a lot of stuff that you can do in here. So now you have a house behind there with a quote of maybe a real estate quote. And if you need help with this stuff, let me know. I'm always here for you guys. So that Canva, that today is not a Canva class, so I'm not going to go through that anymore. But so you either create some content for yourself, whether it's a video, some image in Canva, or you find some content here. We go to this page. So now we go to our article. So I'll find like maybe this text here. You can customize it even more, but I might use that. So you can copy this URL, come over. Once you have your, and this would buffer to create your account. You can add in up to, I believe, 3 accounts for you as a free user, and then you have to pay beyond that. So we have 4. We have a paid account, so we're able to schedule. I think I have like 10 scheduled posts in here already, which that would be your max. For us, we can schedule as many as we want, but when you have a free account, you have only 3 social media accounts you can attach and schedule up to 10 social media posts. Okay, and then within here, we can see our calendar. So these are all the ones that we have scheduled out. In your settings, you can do your posting schedule. So now you want it to post for our Facebook account twice per day during the week, and then once on Saturday and Sunday at these times. So now here's our schedule, okay? And then you could even look at like analytics and see like, your most popular post, your least popular post, all posts, all your recent posts, and then it gives you some like reach and stuff like that in there, which this was just posted a couple of minutes ago, and 3 clicks, and 2 likes, 26 reach, which is pretty low, but I mean, it was just posted out recently. So, so we're getting engagement. You can see that kind of stuff. So now you can go through and see which ones are doing best for you, and then that way you can kind of replicate that content in other times. All right, so let's get back on track here. So, and then this buffer, you need help, contact me. I'll help you set it up. I just helped somebody the other day set up their account and get them using this. So I'm here for you. So let's go back to our content. So now we could just paste in our link. It's going to go ahead and pull in. It'll give you some different options of photos that you can go through. And then I can go back and maybe I wanted to just, you might want to write something catchier and better, but here we could just throw in some content here for example purposes. And whoops. So we don't want this to go onto Instagram because this is like a linked content, but it will go on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So then we would go to customize for each network here. So this is where you could put in, like different photos for different pages. Instagram and Facebook will be clickable links, but on Twitter, you need to include your link, okay? And I have link shortening involved here, so that's why I changed the link to this bit.ly link, but just forget about that right now because we're not going to talk about that right now. But your link would just be in there, and then that way, when it goes to Twitter, it would have a photo with some text and then a clickable link. But in Facebook, you could get rid of those, and then in Twitter as well, okay? So now this would be just clickable, and then you would just click add to queue, and that's going to go and add it right to your in your queue. And the queue means the next possible time slot within your timeline here, okay? So that will just put it into the last slot available. So if we go down here, we have our ones that we just put in, if that makes any sense, okay? The queue means that it's just like you're waiting in a queue, you have a ticket and you're waiting in line to be called. You know, you're basically is a kind of a queue. So this is what you're just putting it into a queue in order for it to, on Monday, April 29th at 6:15 p.m., this post will go out. But I put these posts out in the morning. So I would drag that to go till April 30th. Then you could rearrange. Or you click share now and have it go out. So other options, you know, you could use this. See how we have Instagram in here? You can't go to Instagram.com and share out a post from your computer. You have to do it from your mobile device. But using Buffer, you're able to schedule out an Instagram post, put in all your hashtags, put in everything that you want here, and have that go out when you want it to go out. So it's a great way for those, if you get nothing else out of today, Instagram, if you want to share it from your desktop, then you're going to have to use a scheduling tool like Buffer or Hootsuite or something like that, okay? Because you're unable to do it unless you're using your mobile device normally, okay? All right, so that's basically Buffer. You're able to schedule out all your posts from your different social media channels. I'm here to help you with that. So one last thing, let's say we shared this out. Instead of adding it to queue, you could share it out next, which will then put it up at the top of the list. You share it out now, which will go out instantly, or you could schedule post. So say you wanted to, you know, you had something for this past Easter or Passover or whatever, and you wanted it to go out that morning or afternoon or whatever it was, you could schedule that for its own time, separate from your scheduled calendar. So say you didn't want it to go out at 9:07 a.m. or you didn't want it to go out at 12:35, you wanted it to go out at 5:15 p.m. You could just go in and then schedule this to go out at, you know, Friday. This is what I do with our open house. So I have it scheduled out to go out at, you know, 4:45 p.m. on Friday afternoon. And then boom, schedule, and then that way it's going to go out at that exact time rather than it just going to your queue, okay? All right, so what do we have? We have Feedly, which we can curate our content. Canva will then allow you to create some photos, or, you know, but you guys know a bunch of those other apps out there available. And then Buffer allows you to schedule it, all right? And then that's basically the long and short of it. We have the, you know, our social media content calendars where you can go through and, you know, schedule, you know, kind of, this will help you get your content ready to go in order to go into your Buffer account, all right? So now that we've got all that stuff done, so now you have kind of somewhat of a plan here, right? So we have our different, all month here, we have ideas for you to post. So just, you want to go ahead and take advantage of that, fill some of that stuff in. You can find some of those generic posts, content links and stuff from here, and then you can go ahead and schedule it all out in Buffer. And then we're going to wrap up with just some other sources of stuff here. Like I mentioned earlier, the Breakthrough Broker. So Breakthrough Brokers are an awesome tool, and they have a lot of stuff in here that you can share out on social media, okay? So I know the creation part of this stuff is going to be your least favorite part, right? I mean, we already know, like, if you have a new listing, you could go and post out from listings to leads, post out photos, post from your website. And so you already have content there available to you. But this is another way to get some content for you. So check out breakthroughbroker.com. It's a free account. You don't have to pay anything for any of this stuff, and they are 100% royalty free. So you're able to edit these together, or edit these and then share them out. So let's go rent versus buy and take a look at this one here. So what we do, like if we go to brand your video, I already have my stuff put in. So once you create your account, you're able to just, once you do that one time, it's just going to pull in all your stuff from here on out. So it makes it that much easier. So all I have to do is click free download. Oh wait, Oh, there are customizations. Okay. So free download. Okay, here we go. There we go. Download alert. It's going to go ahead and email me then when it's done. So that was all I had to do in order to get a branded video content for myself. All right. So let's go back here. There's more. There's all these different videos. I mean, there's only a few. I mean, there's 5, but that's 5 more videos than you had before, right? So check that out. There are consumer-facing infographics, and then that's the video page we were just at. So this would be like sellers and bios infographics. Let's take a look at the seller ones. It has like a 6 tips before selling your home that will be branded. You have a seller's roadmap that'll be branded. And then boom, you just click it. It's get started for free. Since I already filled out my content, boom, it put it in for me. And then I just click free download. And then I go image to share to social media. And it's going to pop up my computer to save it. Boom, save. I have something to share. That easy, okay? Here we go. We have more. Consumer-facing buyer's infographics. So this is 5 secrets of a stress-free purchase, buyer's roadmap, 6 reasons to own a home. All this stuff, within a couple of clicks, you could have it branded and ready to share out. Here are shareable social media posts. So you wanted to, this is for your clients. So this is where you could customize it for your clients and share it out and share it with them so then they could share it out to their social media. So we're selling our home. We've moved. We're selling our home. Classic, we love our new home. So that's what after they move. So this way you could just go in and it's going to have your information already in here. Let's see, let's go Instagram post. We want it to have blue maybe instead of red. And then you can go ahead and edit the street name, drop in a new image of that property that they actually bought, and then you could download it and then share it with your client. Boom. All right. So that is another one. Let's see here. There's some posts for Instagram. So home for sale, retro listings, congrats on buyers. So there's a number of stuff in here, and here's some Facebook listing announcements. So if you wanted to do like, you have an open house or you have for sale, just listed, you're able to go ahead and let's edit this. Background options, we want it to say just sold. And with see, I don't know why this one doesn't change, but it is what it is. Property information. So now you can put in that property information, swap out the photo. In a matter of a minute or 2, you have a new image that you can share out. So again, all of this stuff is going to be on the back page of this resource page of the PDF that's in this folder that I'm going to share out with the recording here. Once it gets finished processing, once we're done, social media like a boss, you have our content ideas that has the calendars in it, and some different ideas, content grid. So you're going to have a lot of information. We have this resources is the presentation with all the links in it. And then here's some social media share images that are also on Breakthrough Broker that you could go ahead and download and either customize or use right away. So there's all of these. I included some of our spring ones from Samantha. So there's 20 plus photos in here now that you can share out right away and start to use in order to start, producing or putting out more content that's, maybe a little more fun than you've been using before. So if you have any questions again on this stuff, I mean, whether it's Buffer, Feedly, Canva, we ran out of time, but Sniply, if you check that out, it brands. So if you're using these posts from Buffer, you can brand them with a little call to action button on the post that you're sharing out. You saw me using in Buffer, it puts these bit.ly links in here, see here, which is all trackable within our bit.ly account. And then we can see where all our sources are coming from. So on this day, we had 52 link clicks, and then 35 of them came from Facebook. Other ones were direct or from email, something like that. So I mean, there's so much which we can't get into today, but hopefully by creating some sort of plan using a content calendar, wherever I put that here. So you have your calendar where you could go in and start to fill in that information based on, here's generic ideas, real estate ideas. Go in, drop some, customize it to your audience the best you can, and then, find some content here. If you don't have any original content, schedule it out, and now you have consistent social media going out to where you are now the, real estate expert who has great content that you can share with your clients and your database and whatever on a regular basis. So hopefully you guys found this useful, and hopefully I didn't overwhelm you, but remember, I'm here for you, and I'm down to help with whatever you need. There's a lot of stuff out there to get you more business, and I want to be the one to help you with it. So let me know if you have questions about the Sniply, Bitly, Buffer, Feedly. These are all things that I'm too familiar with. And I wish I had somebody to share all this information with, because there's a lot of great things in order to help you guys out here. So hopefully you found this useful and take advantage of it, and get in a hold of me if you have any questions, comments. Don't forget about breakthroughbroker.com and all the stuff they have on here. So this is as hard as or simple as you want to make it, and I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you. I know it sucks. Yeah, there's Bitly, Feedly, Breakthrough Broker. You have to have an account for all this. But once you have it in all set up, and you have a plan that you follow, like I mentioned earlier, when you get a new listing, you go and follow that checklist. Or, so just have a weekly, schedule it down, time block yourself some time so you can go in, and whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, and go in and get this stuff set up to keep that consistent branding going out there and content. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone. I ran this way over, but hopefully you find all this stuff useful and helpful and want to take advantage of it. I will share this video out later on today, or well, I don't know if it'll be processed today, but if it's processed today, I'll share it out. Otherwise, tomorrow I will, and I will share out all this whole this folder with all this great stuff in here for you to have. All right, thanks everyone. I appreciate it. If you let me check and make sure I didn't hear any questions come through, but let me see. No. Okay. Actually, let me share this with you right now. Okay. Give me 1 second. Oh, not this one. We want. So then you guys have access to all this stuff right now. So let me share this folder. Great link. Copy link, and then I will drop it in this chat box here. So this URL that I've just shared out with you guys, you're able to go ahead and download all this stuff or save it to your own Dropbox or to your Google Drive, whatever. And then let me also put in the link to, well, this is in this Dropbox, so you guys can find it. But remember, the resources for the content calendar and all these other things are going to be right inside this. Where did I go here? And the resources on the this PowerPoint or PDF is all the way at the bottom. You're going to have all your different links in here where for all these different things I showed you today. All right, guys, thanks you so much. I appreciate it once again. I will talk to you later and get this shared out to you as soon as I can. Bye now.